Greetings everyone, here's Lodrick and this is a game War in the Pacific Admits Edition. This is my play by evil match against KilRoy. This is the scenario 1 set up with 1 day and no modifications. So there's still some unloading of supplies in New Zealand. But first my submarine find an enemy cargo ship, hit with torpedo. And now sinking. Yeah, looks like no Navy engagement, what is good for me, because I'm hoping to unload here the additional supplies to feed my forces in New Zealand. But it looks like that the British force is coming, so there is not much space left for avoiding the next Navy battle. But first my bombers out of Truk, trying to attack here these forces. There's still some cargo ships or support ships. Unluckily, maybe I forgot to reload my torpedoes in my task force, so only a bombing strike. So now we're switching over to bombardment in China. Yeah, and here, this is still the lead. I was thinking this is already Helen bombers. I'm not more sure. Somewhere I updated already my airframes. But these are still the old outdated. Normally Key-21 or a Helen, they have both the same bomb load, so if there's no enemy air force trying to intercept the airstrike, then you can normally always go with the Key-21. There's nothing better coming. It's really only the question if there's enemy fighters intercepting. Then the Key-21 is of course always dead. Vincent's still trying to attack my ground forces. Similar to the bombardment in China, they can suppress and increase maybe my fatigue, disable some forces. Okay, now the albacore is coming, and I have my Pete fighters. And yeah, Pete is too slow to catch up, maybe. So this is a torpedo attack on my heavy cruisers. And there's one torpedo hit on the cargo. I mean, one torpedo hit is not so critical, but it's always enough to force the cruiser to return to port. So the Petes are, yeah, maybe just good enough to mess up a little with the torpedo bomber, so that out of this 12 torpedo bombers, only one hit. Okay. So Marcus Island have a lot of enemy ships again. Of course, KilRoy just retake the island, I think 1 or 2 turns ago. It's always a flipping coin. I don't know. Each of us trying to take the island, but no one can hold it. So first out of Truk again, second attempt. And now in the afternoon they're loading torpedoes. So maybe in the morning there was still only a check fail because they don't load torpedoes. Looks like this is also possible. So afternoon torpedo attack, double torpedo hit on this AG. And also the yacht is destroyed. So escort and main ship both getting killed. Yeah, nothing too important. But more ships are lost for KilRoy. More experience for my bomber crew. Okay. Afternoon strike. The Pete's still trying, and this time the British have also escort fighters. Don't ask me why they come not in the morning. The flag is still strong and can kill and damage many of these torpedo bombers. And I lost here now some Petes, but it's okay. So long they can provide some cover. The flag is still... Okay, this is now attack not on my cruisers, this is now the attack on the main force. Okay, other task force, same hex. Or maybe it's the same task force, I'm not more sure. And again, no attack, or at least no successful torpedo strike. But I was able to kill 3 torpedo bombers by flag, plus a bunch more getting damaged. And he has no killed Pete, but many I think are disabled. Yeah, I can check at the end of the turn. So again, don't expect too much from Pete fighters. They are really only maybe good for messing up the formation. Good, failed attack on the AK. One of my subs have some flooding issue. Good. The tanks catching the Chinese, of course, they're always faster. And now they all destroyed. So, nothing left. Nothing to protect Inner Mongolia. My tanks also arrived in Chengdu, fighting with the Space Force. They won, Space Force can hold, but yeah, question is for how long. My navy, no, my division fighting with this armored, armored regiments, or I don't know, mobile infantry. And the allies getting destroyed. So there was not more much left. This was a block force, and now they are wiped out. So the way to Gisborne is now open. This is the city at the coastline, one of the last the Chinese can hold, but not more now. So this is also done. Bombardment of Rangoon. Still waiting for my Thai forces. And again, so 970, 980 is the standard attack value for the allies, and for me I think it gets slowly up. Slowly. So in and yeah, now the Chinese attacking me here again. I'm not so sure why. I have here 2 tank regiments and a full division digged in. And you can see it's not working. My defense value is very high. And this Chinese getting destroyed. I think maybe the main purpose is that KilRoy tried to get rid of his own forces so that they respawn in Chongqing later. Maybe. Or he only tried to pin down my forces that I cannot move away. That is also possible. Good. So the land battle was all fine. We had not really any super important air battle, but with this attack on my carrier cruisers. So I lost no airplane at all. All this bombardment in China cost me nothing. And my flak and Pete together, but mainly maybe by flak, was able to shut down 9 enemy torpedo bombers. And this is more or less everything. So the rest is only ops losses. So Japanese flag is not so bad. Maybe not against torpedo bombers, but it's maybe bad against dive bombers, simply because dive bombers are, I don't know, too fast, and torpedo bombers are normally always slow. Ship sunk now, or I don't know, there was not really much, so these 2 ships sunk for sure, yeah, and there was, I think, 1 cargo ship more. This is at the end only cargo ships with a little more equipment to provide more reload and repair, and this is kind of short range, I mean, more or less short range protection for convoys. Before I forget it, I better watch it immediately. So the British carrier was here. I have a lot of fighters, but not much strike force, or he lost more or less half of his strike force in 1 turn. And I had here 2 convoys, so this is more or less my cover force. And this cover force also gets a torpedo hit on the cargo. So you can see it's damage, yeah, for sure, but system damage and engine, and the rest is okay. It's time to retreat for sure. And this was more or less the cargo fleet unloading here. Now it's really time to give here better the retreat order. Not that he has maybe too much firepower, but I don't know. The question is how many battleships are really here inside. And yeah. This 1 torpedo hit is forced me, of course, to return at least with my heavy cruiser. And my heavy cruiser is now down to a cruise speed of 2 hexes, so I'm also not so fast. I must see how I will try to avoid here this. At the end, the land battle was successful. So my tanks are coming out and maybe supporting the defense in Hamilton. My division was successful, destroying this one armored infantry unit, but there are more forces walking out here down the street. But I will maybe try to take Gisborne back first and rush for this and destroy these Australian forces. Yeah. And here are more ships around. Some I can see, some I cannot see. Good, in China there was only this now. The Chinese forces in Inner Mongolia are destroyed, so I can take all of these bases with my tanks quickly, go in, take it all. Chengdu can hold one more turn. I think the main forces are walking here. This is a full division. So KilRoy try to sneak in. I try to go back with one division. So, and at the same time, I have here the rest of my forces, roughly 1,500 attack value, trying to dig in Chongqing. Because once now I stay here in the city, and this will switch off all industry. So there is no supply production more now for the allies. Here are 38 units, so 140,000 or 130,000. This is all nothing, so there is some block forces here, so it's not completely empty. And KilRoy is also moving here on the center. So we will see in the next days how this will play out. My Yunnan army also arrived back in Xinjiang. So now I have the not so fast way to move here this direction. Need some days. I was able also to take here the southern city, so I can maybe now take the last port city for the Chinese away. Rest is moving, nothing really special happening here. The Thai forces are still on the way. Everything is on the way. Sooner or later I can also attack Rangoon. I think yesterday or the last day before I had here some contact with enemy cargo ships south of Australia, but I was not able to find them. Somehow we missed each other. Good, and my forces in Saipan more or less now in defense mode. I think I let them dig in first and bring in some reinforcements, but I want to make it safe, so I first call my forces back to Tokyo, then I can rearm, refuel, and then also bring my new carrier back. And I think the two there's two more. Yeah, okay. At least one more battle cruiser is ready soon, so I can also take this one then, maybe for more bombardment support. And some destroyers running here east of Tokyo, but no one would attack them. No airstrike. And a lot of cruisers and destroyers again in Marcus Island. And my subs was not able to create some opportunity to attack. Here is also still some support equipment. Good. Then see you next time. Bye bye.